Bush of the Squatter Nuts.
Squatter Nut Bush. Squatter Nut Bush.
Squatter Nut Bush. Squatter Nut Bush.
Squatter Nut Bush. Squatter Nut Bush. Squatter Nut Bush.
Squatter Nut Bush.
Squatter Nut Bush. Squatter Nut Bush.
Bush.
Squatter Nut Bush.
Bush.
Squatter Nut Bush.
Squatter Nut Bush.
Squatter Nut Bush.
Bush.
Squatter Nut Bush.
Squatter.
Squatter Nut Bush. Squatter Nut Bush. Squatter Nut Bush.
Squatter Nut Bush.
I am George Luke Lords-Jukas, director and cinematographer of the Squatter Nut Bush trilogy.
Hi, I'm Jim. Nelson, and I did the music and sound design for the film.
Hey, I'm Randy Magnum. I'm Randy Magnum, and I'm the #2 nationally ranked pro kite surfer, and I also do some acting from time to time.
Squatter Nut Bush. Squatter Nut Bush.
Squatter Nut Bush. Squatter Nut Bush. Squatter Nut Bush.
Squatter Nut Bush.
Squatter Nut Bush. Squatter Nut Bush.
Bush.
Squatter Nut Bush.
Bush.
Squatter
Nut
Squatter Nut Bush.
The first film was an absolute jam.
What?
Not like Jam Nelson or Sound Guy, but like jelly. But anyways, it was absolutely fantastic. It was just amazing and fresh, like Jam Nelson or something.
What?
Yeah, I'd say the first fight scene was fairly amateur. We didn't really hit our stride until part 2, I would say.
I spent hours in the studio recording the original score. It's definitely my best work.
The first film was, I liked it. So we got the game, we got the people, and we did it again. Squatter. Butternut squash. Squatter nut. Squatter nut bush.
Squatter.
Squatter nut bush.
Bush.
Squatter.
Squatter Nut.
Squatter nut bush. Squatter nut bush.
Squatter Nut Bush.
Bush. Squatter.
Bush. Squatter Nut Bush. Bush of the Squatter. Squatter Nut Bush.
For the second movie, I decided I wanted to get my 15 minutes of fame. It's 5 minutes. I don't know how long this movie is.
I was really surprised by
Lords.
acting skill. He delivered his lines masterfully. The Duel.
The Duel.
The Duel.
For the second film, I decided to step up my fighting and karate skills, so I decided to go study with some monks in Cambodia. I studied scissor throwing and other martial art.
He didn't go to Cambodia. He just spent 3 hours in a beach in Naples with a bunch of bums on peyote.
Squatter Nut Bush. Squatter
as a viewer, I was really impressed by the duel. We pulled great audio from it and got a fantastic end result.
We were all very ecstatic at the way the duel turned out.
Squat. Bush. Squatter nut bush, bush. Squatter. Squatter nut bush, bush. Squatter, squatter nut, nut bush, bush, squatter nut. Squatter nut bush. Bush of the squatter nuts. Nut squatter bush nut. Squatter nut bush.
The monologue. It really had a lasting and deep impact on my life. I carry it with me to this day. It was hella sweet.
The monologue will make Randy Magnum the next Brennan Frazier.
Brendan Fraser.
Him too.
Action.
The final monologue was flawless. Simply put, it was perfection.
Were you emotionally moved by it, would you say?
Shut that camera!
You know, the model work in this movie is a very important aspect of the film as a whole. It eliminates the factor of having to go and use CGI, which costs something we don't have a budget for. And it was a great choice for us. And in the long run, it was just perfect. Miniatures is the way to go. Tell your friends and your dad.
I handmade all of the sound effects in the film. You might recognize some of them. Yeah.
We are currently making the third and final installment in which the protagonist finally faces his ultimate adversary.